it's so weird. I'm about 2 weeks away from not doing coke for 12 years.
No way, really.
2 weeks away.
Wow, you're counting that high. Jeez.
It-
Good Lord, man. Good for you, man.
when I was the old me, I think they told a story on Ari and Red Band's podcast
Right.
about me slamming the computer on Red Band's finger. And I called Brian the other day, and I go, I don't know if you knew this, Brian. That was my 3rd month of sobriety.
Oh, really?
I was January of 2008, and we were at Cobb's Comedy Club.
Right.
And, I got clean like November 10th or something like that of 2007.
With just blow?
Just blow.
Right.
Just blow alcohol. I wasn't really a drinker.
Right.
My thing was that cocaine by myself. And
How would you come down? Just smoke weed? Or?
I'd smoke weed. I'd maybe a pill,
Okay.
whatever you had, But the pills would take me somewhere else. It's funny, I watched Dolomite last night.
Oh, okay.
And he says a line in the beginning of that. They're at the diner, and he gets upset, and he goes to his car. And he goes, I've been here all this time, and nothing has happened in my life. And he goes, whatever I'm selling, nobody's buying.
Right.
And the way he said it, and the way he meant it, as a comic, you get to that point one day.
Yep.
Where you're like, whatever I'm selling, they don't want to buy it, whether it's a script,
Right.
my act, I'm just fucking death, and
Right.
he becomes, for me, that was what made me quit. Like, I was like, I either have to fucking do this, or they're not buying what I'm selling no more.
Right.
Like, yeah, I lucked out and picked up some movies and shit like that, but I'm not going to pick them out anymore because the word's going to get out.
Right. Right.
The word's going to get out that this is a big problem. I had already had problems. I said The Longest Short. I had problems in the set of this other movie. I quit this job over, and I could lie to everybody and say that, yeah, I had another job
Right.
doing Mountain Dew, but I canceled that fucking movie that time the people came to my house and I pushed the producer. That was all cocaine induced.
Wow.
That was all cocaine induced,
Yeah,
I'm still on coke till 6. You're going to come bang on my door at 9.
Oh, no.
I'll stab you in the lung.
Oh,
and then when I tell you to go away, you keep banging on my door. I got a banging headache. I feel bad enough. The dealers already called me twice because I didn't put the $50 in the saddle and took the coke.
Right.
I need you knocking on my door to go do a fucking movie down the corner about the dumbest thing I've ever heard about my life.
Right.
The word's going to get out.
Yeah, it will.
Eventually the word's going to get out. And I didn't want it to get out. And if it did get out, I wanted to correct it with those people,
Right.
Like after I got clean, I wrote a letter to Adam like a year later.
Right.
And he put me in a movie. I could write Adam a letter and next thing I'm in one of his movies.
That's cool, man.
Like
That's
an
cool.
apology letter or whatever.
Right.
But that whole incident in Cobb's happened because I was still running a little shaky. 90 days ain't shit.
Right.
90 days, this thing could turn in any minute. And I know now from talking to other people who have gone what we've gone through that it could change any day. So I have to check myself every day.
Right.
I've had it around. I know people have had it in their pocket.
Yeah.
I know it's at certain places that I frequent, but it doesn't affect me. I can't think of going back to that life.
Oh, yeah, it's...
I can't think of... First of all, I think I would die of a heart attack.
Yeah, man.
Right off the bat. Like at this age, with what I've done and how hard I've done to repair everything, the garlic pills, the cardio.
Right.
I think that like this podcast would not still be intact if I was doing blow. There's no way.
It will go a lot quicker.
No. Nobody would show. This poor kid would still be here 2 years ago, sitting here waiting for him. Who shows?
No shit, Mom.
When you're on coke, it's a 50-50.
It's just a 50-50 chance. You're going to show up. You're not going to do
50-50.
it.
You do any plans with me, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
And so I know you now, or at least I feel like I know you pretty well. And you're punctual. You get mad. You don't like when other people. You're very on your calendar. Would you feel bad about it in the time? But you're just like, I can't leave the house right now. I'm too fucked up. Or
it just it changes to the point where you think you can probably ninjutsu your way out of it, get out of the situation. You can probably blame it on traffic, but I said stupid, had stupid excuses. Hey man, my arm fell off, that kind of thing, and I really believed it. So hey man, my arm fell off, but you get sick all the time. It's all.
I just remember, there was a time where I could not sleep, stop doing coke at 4, and get in the car at 6:15 and go on a plane ride. Feel a little creepy at the airport. But as time went on, the addiction turned into something different. And it got to the point that if I was high till 4, I wouldn't even leave the house at 6. Like I would call the comedy club and say, I'm getting on the plane. I'm headed to the airport, but I wasn't even leaving the fucking house. I did it to about 4 or 5 comedy clubs before they caught on. I think I did it to Joe one time, and you see how I am about comedy now, and you're like, I can't see that. It wasn't me. It was whatever I was doing that was, the last year I canceled 8 gigs the Friday of.
So let's say you were supposed to leave Friday. Thursday night or Thursday during the day, you're like, okay, I'm not going to get high tonight. I'm not going to get high. And then at the last second, you're like, fuck it.
Let me go get a package. I'll be fine.
All depends how good the show is. If you rock, you want to re-up.
No. But I'm talking about even getting down there.
Oh, getting down there.
I wouldn't even make it to the plane. Like I would leave, and I'd have the owner of the club waiting for me at the airport, calling me, going, "Where are you?" And I'm going, "My plane got delayed. We got debunked to Oklahoma, and now there's a tornado, and they're still going to go. We'll come in tonight. We'll replace you tonight. Coming for tomorrow." And I would still make up a story. Like, it was that bad. And I think of my life now, if you made plans with me to see me at 1 in the afternoon, it was all 50-50.
Even during the day.
Yeah, I didn't do it in the daytime. But when you wake up at 8 and you have the depression from the night before, or you go to bed at 8 in the morning, I go to bed at 8. I would, the last year, I would stay up until Terry would wake up to go to work. And then the last half hour she was there, I was just faking I was asleep with my eyes closed. Meanwhile, my heart's pounding in the fucking bed, and she's getting ready around me. And as soon as she would leave, it was like a breath of fucking relief. Yep. I could open my eyes and jerk off one more time and try to fall back to sleep. So I don't dread those things. I don't dread fucking over people, because that's the only towards the end you're fucking yourself over, but more or less you're fucking people over.
Right.
And this isn't just myself. I heard he'll tell you. I think Artie will tell you the last day of crashing, he just didn't show. Rest in peace. I love him with all my heart. It's well documented. And this is where our fucking world falls apart. Right. Gandolfini would disappear for 3 days. Come back and pay for the production. I know a friend, he did it to his movie, and he gave him $120,000 for the day of production. And I know for a fact he did a movie in New Orleans, and he went out and supposedly somebody slipped him a pill at the strip club. They couldn't get a hold of him. He had to pay for the whole day of production on a Sean Penn movie, $250,000. Wow. That's your nature, to disappear. I would disappear for 3 days, Lee, where you couldn't. And there was no cell phones in the 80s. You just called the house.
Right.
I don't like
disappear.
Is there a way to describe it to someone? Like, I'm trying to because to me, I can't even wrap my head around it.
Who's an attractive? Let's just say Kate Quigley.
Okay.
Kate Quigley. Okay. Friday, you go out, you get your paycheck for $800 for 2 weeks, and you go out and spend $500 on coke, a bag, because Joey's supposed to split it with you. But I got fucked up the night before and spent the money from that coke. So now you're stuck with the whole 7 grams. And you go to the comedy store, who do you bump into? Kate Quigley. She's got a dress on. You could tell she's got a thong on. You got 2 lines in you. So Kate Quigley's looking completely different than what she looks like to you now. Kate Quigley's now your friend.
Yeah.
When you look at her on cocaine, she looks like a victim. Like she's just what do cheaters go after?
Yeah, those.
Gazelle prey.
Yeah, that's what she is. She's just prey. So now let's pretend you went to Pablo. Mm-hmm. You said, Pablo, give me that 7 grams on the arm. I'm going to sell it to Joe Diaz. I'm going to make a profit. Mm-hmm. So now, even though you got it in your pocket and you're going to make a profit on Joe Diaz and you still owe Pablo $500, you're going to look at Kate. And I'm just using Kate as an example because everybody knows that she's a pretty girl. I could use 1,000 other girls, but Whitney Cummings, whatever. You look at her, you know, they got a thong on, they bent over. You know, they do coke. You give them a package, you make them go to the bathroom. They do 2 bumps, they come back, they tell you the coke is great. And then they come back, give you 2 more. Now it's 3 in the morning. Now where we're going to go? I live in Studio City, and I got another 7 grams up there. Kate Quigley or whoever it is going to come up there with you.
Yep.
Now, the first gram that you do, you're okay because you're in profit.
Yeah, right.
You're just losing a little profit. You still got Pablo's money tomorrow. But next thing you know, you talk Kate into taking the top off. And you want to do 2 bumps off her tits. She's snorting. Pretty soon,
Touching
you're like,
things.
okay, fuck Joey's Pablo. Now we're moving on to fucking Pablo's money. Even though you and Pablo are best friends, you grew up with Pablo. That addiction makes you tell Pablo to go fuck himself. Even though in real life, you would never tell Pablo's your best friend. And Joey's your best friend. But you just selling your soul right now for Kate, her pussy, and that cocaine. Now, you know how long that lasts to do all that coke? Friday from 3 in the morning to Saturday night at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
So you guys pretty basically stay in all afternoon, maybe go for a walk to get beer.
Right.
And go right back to do that coke every 20 minutes. And talk shit, fuck, suck, whatever you got to do. Now, Sunday morning, Kate, you wake up at 2 in the afternoon, Kate's gone. You look at your phone, you got 6 missed messages from Pablo. Joey hasn't called. Joey called last night because he got money the night before. Mm-hmm. So it's, you give up so much for this addiction. Like you sell.
Put a lot of effort into nothing.
It's a lot of effort into nothing.
Yeah, and especially
besides fucking your friends. Now you gotta go face Pablo and make up a lie to Pablo that the cops pulled you over and took it.
Bitches took it or some shit.
You got no money and you'll pay them $50 a week for 18 weeks.
Well, you've talked to me or told stories about times when, when you didn't even want the girls to come over, so it was just by yourself.
There was a point where because the addiction keeps growing. That's what people don't understand. Pablo's clean a year, but inside of him, that addiction has grown.
Oh yeah.
That's why so many. Well, I'm lying to you. Like when people go back to heroin, they shoot the amount they were shooting before they went to rehab, and they get a heart attack. Right. They OD because it was their tolerance went lower. Right. You know, your tolerance goes lower and lower.
But your desire for it keeps growing.
So when you're an addict, as they describe an addict, you know, I hear a lot of words when people describe addicts. Yeah. They describe addicts, they describe disease. But in my world, I was an addict. Okay, I was an addict. I would wake up at 8 in the morning. First thing I thought about was coke. The second thing was comedy. And how was I going to get the money for the coke to do the comedy?
Doing cocaine comedy.
That's an addict. That's an addict. And guess what? I have the rent money, but the rent's not due till the 5th. So even though it's the 29th and I got the rent money, I'm good till Monday, bitch. All bets are off. And guess what? It's Halloween Thursday. I'm going to tell you I'm going to stay clean for Halloween, but I'm buying an 8-ball and 10 Quaaludes just to start the party off. And that's how you think. I'm trying to write this book.
All right.
And before I kidnapped the guy,
right,
I worked at a car dealership for a few months. You know, I'm trying to detail this book as much as I can, so you just can't. The truth was that I was working. I started a Subaru dealership that was like Studio 54.
Okay.
Like everybody was snorting coke in there. There was a guy that did heroin, and he fucking robbed banks at lunchtime. I mean, this was live. It got to the point where it was so crazy. I said, let me go to a Chrysler store. They were a little older. They were all white.
Right.
They were all like respectful. Half of them were veterans and shit. You didn't see nothing like I've never seen anything like that before. Like at the Subaru place, somebody in service sold coke.
Right.
At the Chrysler place, the manager and the salesman, the head salesman, would sell coke.
Wow.
Everybody was coked up. And I still remember days that there'd be 5 customers on the lot, and every salesman in that office would be so coked up, they were in their office pretending to be on the phone. And people would be out there going like, I'm here to buy a car. And they'd be like, we're on the phone. Like they were coked up. So from that lesson, I didn't snort coke in the date. Like, I'm like, I gotta
Usually,
I got to pay attention to these guys. Don't get me wrong. I fell for it a few days.
Right.
But I always knew that I'm not going to sell a car, and I'm going to sit here like these the dealer's name was Rob Dando.
Rob Dando.
Sweetheart of a guy.
Subaru.
We sold Chryslers.
Right.
And his big pet peeve was his red Parker pen. His wife gave him a Parker pen for their anniversary.
All right.
And he felt it was his lucky red pen.
All right.
So every time he went out to get a customer, he'd be so coked up, he'd be sweating. He'd put his pen down, and I'd swap the pen. I'd steal it. And he'd come back and look for the pen and look under cars.
Oh, God.
He would say, I can't sell a car. Somebody stole my lucky red pen. So then, he would go buy one, another one across the street. I'd wait till he get coked up. I'd steal the pen.
Just doing the tricks.
I did this to him once a week. Then I started taking the red pen from him.
Oh, God.
And giving it back to him. Like putting it in the bathroom.
Oh, God.
Somebody would go to him and say, we found the red pen in the bathroom. And he would go, but I wasn't in the bathroom. And then he got so fucking...
Mysteries of the unknown. He
started getting so coked up. Lee always thinks like I torment him.
Right.
He doesn't know I've been doing this for 30 years. Like
Right.
I make people go crazy. Like I'm the best at making people go crazy.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
So I would put pens in places where he weren't. Like I would go into the secretary's office and put the pen in her desk. And then she would come back and go, Rob, why is your pen on my desk? And he'd go, I lost that 2 days ago. Why is it on top of your desk? He said, I don't know how I got here. So he would scratch his head because he was the best salesman. So my game was to throw him off point.
Right.
So then he started selling coke. But he had a wife that was straight, that didn't do coke.
Oh, God.
So
He
would hide the coke at the office. He was getting 2-3 ounces at a shot. And what he would do is he'd throw cut on an ounce.
Right.
And weigh it into grams and put it in little packages.
All right.
And hide it in the ceiling. And I would go to service at 6 in the morning. You know when service first gets there?
Yeah, right.
I would go there, coked up from the night before, take the ounces out of the ceiling. And I put coke in the grams and take coke out of there. I take an eighth out of 1 ounce, put an eighth of speed of cut in there, and take another eighth. I was doing that to him for a month.
Holy smoke,
And then
man.
I started switching the coke on him.
Okay, then
I started taking it out of the ceiling and putting it in this
you can
front
find him.
drawer.
You can find yourself in the trunk.
God, I was tormenting this kid. He would come. I would see him in the
He
things.
still thinks about this. There's no way that he
Listen
doesn't.
to me. I did this to him for 6 to 7 months.
Oh my God.
It was a constant torture
on you,
every
man.
day. He would go up to the manager and go, I don't know what's going on. I'm losing my mind.
Good God. Unsolved
I probably
mysteries.
stole 40 pens from him, and I had a secret spot for them. And one day, when he was in the middle of his nervous breakdown, because then he found out somebody was messing with his coke. And he couldn't figure out who the fuck it was. I got to get to the bottom of this. Somebody's bulldozing me in the mornings. He didn't. He was a white dude. He would use words like bamboozled and shit like that. He's like, somebody's bamboozling
Someone's
me.
sabotaging me.
And I'm like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, we got to start coming early. I think somebody comes here in the morning and takes my coke. I was tormenting this kid. And then one day I showed up. I was quitting. I was getting ready to quit and go back to the Subaru store before I kidnapped Bella. And I fucking gave him God punishes. Because 2 weeks later, I ended up in fucking jail with a fucking $50,000 bail. And the day I quit, I had a stack of pens. It had to be 4 inches, 30 of those Parker pens.
Yeah.
I had them in a heavy-duty rubber band. And the day I quit, I go, Rob, I got something for you.
A stack of dynamite.
And I put the fucking pens on the thing. And he almost broke in half. Wow. I was like, it was you. I had no fucking idea. Were you stealing my Coke too? I'm like,
Gee, oh, God. Unsolved mysteries.
But
If you
I invited him to my wedding. He was
have
good at it.
any,
He was sweating up a storm at my
someone's Coke is disappearing. Why?
wedding.
What reason?
Who else does that shit to people?
Gosh, man.
I tortured that poor soul.
Good God.
When I started switching the Coke on him, Pablo, you know how that is.
Yeah, that's...
When you think you hid the Coke behind that picture, and now it's in the tissue box, and you don't know how the fuck it happened, and you're fucked up already.
Oh, yeah.
Now your mind's playing tricks on you.
Are any stories coming back, Pablo? Like, God,
yeah.
Joey did mess with me that weekend. Like,
No.
That's funny. Joey.
I never mess with
My
Pablo.
Coke did
love
move.
Pablo.
I remember
love
putting it in my hat, and then he was wearing it.
You know, in reality, I never think I've done a line with you, Pablo.
No, I don't think
No,
we have.
we
I offered him.
Yeah, we
a time.
knew we each other did it,
Yeah.
but we never really broke that bond because
Well, he was freaked me out because he would go. When I first met him, he goes, "Hey, the vampire," and then this shot, and then I go, "What is he doing?" He goes, "You know, what I'm talking about 2 shots, a little porno movie." I was going, well, "This guy knows too much. This is
because I used to tell him
it's
about
witchcraft,
breaking out the cape.
Yeah, but I didn't understand
That's
that.
what I
But,
meant. Whenever you do coke, you break out the cape.
and then but when you said the porno, then you do the shot and once.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
You put the porn on, a couple shots.
I go, what is this guy?
So he thought I was like a heretic. He thought I had a fucking. He thought I had a direct camera to his fucking house.
Yes, that was kind of you know you got a porno in the VCR. You know what? How does he know
I
this?
still remember there was a sparse time of cocaine, like in '86, when coke changed. Coke changed. It went from tasting a certain way in the late '70s to a different way in the mid '80s. It changed.
Did that have anything to do with crack?
No, it had to do with ether being smuggled into Colombia. The toughest thing wasn't smuggling the coke into the United States. It was smuggling the ether into Colombia. So Colombians had to stop coming up into the United States and processing the leaves in the States because they ran out of ether. So they started processing it with turpentine and gasoline, and it had a weird effect.
Can they grow coca leaves like in greenhouses in the United States?
I don't think so because of the altitude. See, I don't know why. I heard it was something to do with the altitude, but the altitude's got to be the same of a point like Aspen, Colorado, or something.
I bet they
like
can
that.
make some kind of greenhouse
They can
to
make
grow
some type
coca
of green,
leaves, right?
and I trust me. I think
You looked into it.
no. I know
Back in the day.
I know that I have access to leaves. If I want to buy coca leaves, somebody mentioned to me on the side.
What do you put it in your mouth and chew on it?
Just put it in your mouth and
Like
chew
the
on it.
Incas?
I got mad at Ari. He went down there, and I go, that was the main purpose of you going down there, stupid, was to eat the leaves to see how that it's a trip. It's like a ceremony when you eat the fucking leaves and chew on them and swallow them. It goes into your system. That's what makes those farmers farm all day. They go into like a fucking haze. It's like, remember when Joe read the paragraph of what happens to you when you eat an edible? It goes in your liver and it becomes CTE1. And then remember he went into it. He read it over and over again. He had it down. When it goes into your liver, it becomes CTE1. A highly polite. He read it and studied it to the T. Right now, we'll call him and say, what does edibles do to you? And he'll tell you the same thing. They go into your liver and it becomes a carnivinoid and it does this and all this shit. What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Me neither. But that's what
Coke from the 80s.
Yeah, Coke from the 80s. It turned, and that was when the government got involved. Once our government said, whoa, these motherfuckers are making some serious money. We need some of that paper. And that's when they jumped on Noriega.
Yeah, they needed money, black ops money. That's what they
money.
did.
That was it.
They were running guns, running drugs through Arkansas while Bill Clinton was the governor.
The governor, yeah.
That's why he became president. They say, you let us use your state as a drop-off point for all this coke. I mean, they even put it in that movie, American Made. Barry Seal, he was the CIA pilot. There's books written on him. He was dumping it off in Mena, Arkansas, while Bill Clinton was the governor and George Bush Sr. was the president. And then guess who became the next president?
George Bush.
Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton. What about the
He
scene?
handed. He was like he hooked him up.
Dog, what
it was like a favor.
What about the scene when he's in American Made? Tom Cruise is making so much money as Barry Seal, and they finally arrest him and they take him down to the police station. And he's like, you know what, man? You guys ever drive a Cadillac? I'm gonna buy each and every one of you a Cadillac. And they're like, are you trying to bribe us? And he goes, nah, I'm not trying to bribe you. He goes, I'm just trying to give you a little something for your efforts today. I'll tell you why. Because in about 5 minutes, that little district attorney lady's going to come out of her office and she's going to tell all you boys to go home and I'm going to walk on out that door. And they're like, sure. And all of a sudden she comes out, goes into the prosecutor, whispers in his ear, we gotta let him go. And they're like, what? And he goes, I told you fellas, you should have took the Cadillac. That's just like he was connected all the way to.
He was working for them.
And
He's
then
like
they
he's one of
fucking
us.
shut him down, and they threw everything away, and they fucking the nephew. Remember the nephew when he dropped the nephew off? That's when they were pipe bombing people. That's when they were bombing people, and they bombed that guy from Aspen, Colorado too. His name was Stephen Graybo. He was about to testify against him, and they put a car bomb in his car. That's what the Colombians were doing then. And supposedly it was the white guy from Cocaine Cowboys. He later on wrote a book called American Desperado, and he wrote all the bombings he was paid to do for the Qatari lot. Like, when you look at the steps to what helped me, it was those stories. Those stories, you never know what it's going to be in this town. Until you do it, just make sure you're prepared, and you go out there and you do them, and that's it. But I think those stories, those 15-minute segues on Ari's storytelling show helped my career more than anything, just telling the truth. More than a special, more than the 2 shitty specials I did, more than, you know.
I think people would like that, like, raw roughness of that show. That show is so perfect
That
for
show
Ari.
was perfect.
Yeah.
That show was a perfect show. Mm-hmm. You don't know what's going to turn the meter with some people, or you don't know what's going to complete the circle for some meter. For me, I feel that storytelling show fucking healed me. Like, I had those stories in me. They were good to say them. Sometimes they pop up when I watch them and I get sad. You know what? A couple of weeks ago, we're having a conversation. They're trying to write a piece about Ralphie. And they were referring to, on video, they got him and they asked him questions. And he's saying a bunch of shit that if you know any comic or anybody was on pills, you know, he'd be saying. Remember when I did those tapes for you in 2006 at the House of Blues, when I was saying that I wanted to die?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? You still got those? You should put these up for those people. These people.
Yeah, they're up right now. Joey Diaz, Ready to Die. I think it's Joe Show 11.
Like, I was done.
Yeah.
Like, I was eating fucking. That's the weekend we went in like on Thursday, and I didn't see you guys till Saturday.
Right.
Like, I was doing 8-ball. They were delivering it to the room. The guy had a come-down package, and he'd give you those fucking Vicodins and shit. My friends were in town. I wouldn't go to their hotel and see them. I told them I was busy with Joe, the UFC. I was working the UFC. I don't work the fucking UFC.
Right. I remember that.
I was in my room snorting up a storm. And then I was forced to go down Saturday to do this fucking show. And these guys got a camera and they're fucking asking me stupid fucking questions. And I was done. Like, I just wanted a quick Coke. I didn't think it was possible. That's what was going on.
Spirit left me.
Like, fucking Thursday night we flew in. I basically snorted all night Thursday. Friday, Joe did something and I blew you guys off because I was too busy in my room getting high.
Wouldn't that be the weigh-ins?
And Saturday, I fucking finally came out and I took a shower. I was in that room for 2 days straight. No room service, just eating like Hershey.
Was it Mandalay Bay? I think it was Mandalay Bay.
Like eating fucking chocolate bars from the refrigerator. The paranoia jerking off in the corner so the mirrors and the cameras wouldn't see me.
That's right.
And then, you don't know what it's like to call this drug dealer at 4 a.m. He answers. And I'm like, I need another one. I'll be there in 2 minutes. Don't I need to go downstairs? No, I know all the security guards. he would come right to my room, ask me if I wanted a come down package, the extra package with the 4 sleeping pills and 2 Vicodins, 2 Percocets, and 2 Xanax. I'd eat the whole fucking thing. What do you think you're going to feel like in the morning? What do you think is going to come out of your mouth in the morning? You have not a stitch of happiness in your life. Wow. All the dopamine has been taken out of your brain. I was on a roll for 2 days. The things I said on those tapes, like, were just, I always think about that. Like, that was the darkest time of my life. That last year before I quit coke. Ooh.
Isn't that crazy you made it out of that? I mean, how insane is that, Joey?
Dog.
I mean, I even thought you were a goner during those times when you thought you were dying and stuff like that. I was like, oh man, he's only going to last a couple months.
Yeah.
Like we all like kind of thought that, I think, because you sold it so well.
It wasn't that I sold it so well. It was what I was basically fucking going through.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so I did a big movie. I opened up for Rogan on the road.
Longest Yard, right?
I do spots at the store. And this is downtown Denver was a fucking desert when I was there.
Oh.
There was nothing there. Once the Rockies came and they built that stadium, then all that built up around it. They built a new airport. I don't know this Denver. I was there. I used to fly into Stapleton, the greatest airport in North America. This, what we're flying into tonight, is a fucking nightmare. There's a 3-mile walk.
Oof. Okay.
And then you got to get in the car for 40-minute fucking. It's a 40-minute fucking drive.
Those are the worst.
Saturday we got to get breakfast before we get in that fucking car. That's a 45-minute fucking drive. And then you look at it and you go, "Who designed this?" Because if it snows, you're clobbered. You get stuck at that airport. It's not.
Is
like,
this the Denver airport?
Yeah,
it's shady as shit, dude.
This is, and they got, this is like you. It doesn't. When you fly into Denver now and you go, "Why are we 40 minutes from civilization?" The big joke is you fly into Kansas. You're like, why am I driving 40 fucking minutes? It's ridiculous.
That Denver airport's got a lot of shady shit involved with it. Guys, when you're walking around, look at all the artwork. It's very dark. Very dark.
It's beautiful. The best thing about that airport is you need for nothing. You can take a shower there. You can rent a hotel there. You could fucking work out there. They got a gym. You could eat a steak, or you could eat fucking Burger King. You get your nails done. There's never a dull moment at Denver International Airport.
I respect the fuck out of that.
I remember one time when I got to analyze that, I was fucking dirt poor. I got scale plus 10, no plane ticket for analyze that. I had a place to stay, and my friend gave me a buddy pass on Frontier Airlines.
Oh, God, Frontier.
That's like lending somebody a pen to write a suicide note.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
for
saying?
sure, dude.
Giving somebody a Frontier buddy pass is just like saying to somebody, "Oh, you're going to kill yourself? Hold on. Don't use the feather. Let me give you a fucking ballpoint." You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all that is.
Yeah.
They lost my, like, I flew in like a 10 into Newark or something crazy. And the audition was at 2, and they lost my luggage with the warm-up suit and the whole thing. So now I had to borrow money I didn't have and go get a warm-up suit.
Oh, man.
Sneakers. And then the luggage never came. The luggage, by the time I got to fucking Denver, I picked it up in Denver. But let me tell you what I did. I was so broke when I got on that plane. I didn't have any cigarettes. And I didn't give a fuck. I went right, the lady was looking the other way. I went right behind the counter and took a pack of Camel Lights. And I went right in the bathroom and lit up a fucking cigarette. I'm not walking no 3 fucking miles to smoke a cigarette.
They sold cigarettes on the plane?
At the airport.
Oh, at the airport.
Yeah, dude, back in our day, because you're a young guy, there was smoking on the airplane, and there was this magical thing that said, this is the smoking section, this is the non-smoking section.
The back.
And there was no
Nobody complained. Nobody got cancer. Nobody did nothing. Those are the days where you would get on a flight and you enjoyed flying because there was 6 other degenerates on the plane just like you. Dog, I was thinking about this. And I'm not going to say from where to where, because then people have to fucking say the truth. But I'll never forget when I was doing, I'm not even going to say the year. There was a time when I was doing some creepy shit. I was going from Colorado to Jersey and trading guns for coke, and then I would fly back with the coke. But Sam, I went on a bender. Like I stayed clean from January 1 of 85 to about April of 86, because a buddy of mine came out and said he goes, snort this coke. He goes, I'm getting this for this price. What are they paying for shit out here? And he told me, like, I can make $1,000 an ounce and not even look at it. $1,000 an ounce and not even look at it. That's how good this coke was. So I started snorting it. Sam, I went on a 6-month tear. It was like in 6 months I slept 5 nights, legit. The other nights, it was like I did coke where you either not sleep or you sleep 3 hours, but it's cocaine sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Like you don't even go deep into your fucking system. So you're just walking. You're just a time bomb.
Hear the coke birds? Oh, they just fucking mocking you. Good coke is like good food, right? You're like, oh, this is excellent. It just disappears, and because when you do bad coke, your nose just goes, and you're like, oh, fuck, this is bad shit. I just snorted fucking paint thinner, right? And then you get that good stuff. It just disappears, and everybody's feeling, and the ladies are feeling good. And that's the whole reason to do cocaine, is let the girls let you do weird shit to them. They're just happy just to be on coke, and they're just like, yeah, whatever you want to do, light me up. And they're like, cool, man. You're like, oh, I love it. That's my problem, the sex addiction.
I'm fucking coked up on a 3-day bender, and I get on the plane in Newark, headed back. And I sit next to this fucking chick in the middle that is throwing heat, Jack. And I don't talk. I'm coked up. I'm shy at that point. I don't want to.
You're the only cokehead that doesn't talk, by the way.
I'm going to the bathroom doing little bumps by myself, and she notices and she starts talking to me. And on the slide, she asked me, "Do you got a blast for me?" I go, hold on 1 second. I went to the bathroom. I had like a fucking ounce on me. I took a little out, put it in a piece of paper, and I gave it to her. Go knock yourself out. This bitch started jawing on the plane. Next thing you know, we started drinking. Next thing you know, she started touching my leg. I'm like, this is fucking getting weird here. She was banging. If I was 22, she was 19, 20. She was a college student somewhere. And she was snorting. We were fucking high. And next thing you know, I'm fingering her under a blanket on a fucking plane. I never got her name or her number.
That's all I have
It
left.
was crazy. Like, it was, who do you meet on a plane and you're fingering them? She was grabbing my cock. She didn't jerk me off or blow me or nothing like that. Nothing. But it was just crazy. I was fingering this girl. That was the time I went to Denver Airport and my flight to Aspen was delayed. I got 9 ounces on me. So I said, what am I going to do all night at the airport? And I hid the coke in those lockers where you keep the key, like fucking Get Shorty.
Yeah.
And I would take like an 8-ball of the chunk. And I would go to the bar and I was just fucking drinking doubles. In those days, I was drinking that fucking whiskey and scotch doubles on the rocks. And another one, don't touch the ice cubes, I'll fucking kill you. You know how much money I spent in quarters getting that coke in and out of it? I must have done an ounce at the airport that night. By the time we flew out the next morning, I was so fucking coked up.
Oh, dude, that's the worst.
I snorted with this music executive. We got fucking drilled at this airport. Then they shut the bar down at 3.
Oh, my God.
So we were at this airport, coked up. I mean, if it didn't stick out like a sore thumb, I don't know how the fuck I didn't get arrested that night. We didn't leave till the next morning at 8. I was tuned up. I got on that plane, tuned up. I started drinking Bloody Marys. That's what I used to drink in the daytime. I didn't give a fuck. Now I'm going to have a fucking pussy.
Do you drink still?
Yes and no. Like I did a shot in fucking somewhere I was at recently.
Yeah. I don't drink, man. Once in a blue moon, I'll do a shot, Jack. But I don't really drink. I don't like it. I'm not a weed guy. Like I said, once in the blue moon, I'll do shrooms.
When I was home this time, too, I remembered something. I remember they used to bring the coke up to Dan Marino at the University of Pittsburgh. I knew those guys.
Oh yeah.
They're
Yeah, well,
still
that's
around.
I'm telling you, that's why he dropped all the way to the Dolphins at pick 24 that year, because there was always rumors that he was doing coke in college because he was going to be like number one, and 5 quarterbacks went before him, or 4. Kenny O'Brien, all these guys, because of the coke rumors, and the Dolphins go, we'll take a chance on him.
Fuck it, he's down in Miami anyway. I didn't know you were that much of a damn.
Oh,
Marino
huge. Yeah, huge Dolphin fan and Marino fan. I wound up get to know him because I worked on Inside the NFL like in 2004, and he was on there. And shit, so we became friends and stuff. I still see him from time to time. He's a great dude. That guy, after like Inside the NFL, Bob Costas, Chris Collinsworth, Chris Carter, they'd do like a party or something like that afterwards. They'd all go sit at the table, like, the hosts and stuff like that with all the executives from HBO. Marino would hang with the friggin' camera guys and drink beers with them and just tell stories. He wanted to hang with the blue-collar guys. He was always like that, growing up from Pittsburgh.
He's a Pittsburgh guy.
Yeah, Pittsburgh guy, yeah.
I'll never forget when Pittsburgh played West Virginia. Marino's senior year, and there was a guy on West Virginia called Darryl Talley.
Oh, yeah, he went to the Bills.
He ended up playing for
yeah,
the Bills.
he was an
Spider-Man.
animal. Yeah,
You should have seen him in college.
really.
Like in college, I was like, who is this fucking guy? He was doing everything.
He had the
Flying
face
through
paint.
air.
Yeah, number 56.
He was
in the Bills.
tackling people, sacking people, biting people, fucking intercepting balls. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I still remember Marino. That was on a couple of weeks ago. The quarterback thing, 30 for 30. With
Oh, yeah,
Elway.
with Elway and Marino,
Breaking
yeah.
it down, fucking brilliant. What the Yankees did with Elway. Elway just did not want to play for the fucking Colts. He's like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking doing it.
Yeah, that was amazing. And yeah, he had a great junior year, and then Marino didn't have a great senior year, and there was drug rumors about him, and he dropped all the way, and Miami picked him up.
I still remember kids telling me they were going to Pitt to party. Not saying his name, like he wasn't a big deal at the time. But I still remember a handful of kids, a girl specifically, that she was dating one of those guys that was coming to Hudson County, picking up the shit in North Bergen and bringing it right up to Pitt for the weekends because the kid went to St. Joe's in West New York.
Right.
There was a kid from St. Joe's, West New York, that went to Pitt, and he played. And Pitt, all 4 years with Marino, he was the fucking source of that fucking powder. Poor Marino. And he was still on powder in the NFL, too, supposedly.
Yeah, I mean, if he lived in Miami and stuff, he never got caught or anything. I don't know.
No. He never. The receivers did.
Duper and Clayton,
Yeah,
all those guys.
motherfuckers were snorting like it was the 4th of
Oh
July.
yeah, they got busted, and even later on in life, like Duper was dealing and stuff like that. All those Miami guys. There was always these former Dolphins. Mercury Morris was the original one. Got caught with coke back in the 70s. It was in jail for like 5 years.
Mercury
Really?
Morris.
Yeah,
Do you guys-
dealing.
I don't know your history, Jim. I don't know if you did coke or anything like that, but I always think about, like, could you be like a musician on tour or like an athlete who's playing games and have it seems like it would take too much out of you to have a problem like that, but still be able to go out there and perform at like that crazy level.
No, there was guys in the 70s, a bunch of baseball players, like 10 baseball players, stars, got busted for doing coke. Going to
Pittsburgh
games.
Pirates.
Yeah, and then Keith Hernandez was involved, and
the
Dave Parker.
Candyman. What was it?
Ron
Candelaria.
Candelaria. John
Candelaria, the Candyman. Lawrence Taylor bands. Shit.
I saw Lawrence Taylor in a strip club. It was Saturday night at like 2 a.m. and he had a game Sunday at 1 p.m. in Jersey.
Jesus.
He was fucking hanging out with strippers, fucking guzzling drinks back, and he had a game in 11 hours.
They're just that good, I guess.
They're just that good. They could perform under that type of. They could just perform.
I guess so.
I did it for years. I didn't get high and go on stage. But
you've talked about how, like, if you got too high, like, sometimes your sets wouldn't be as
oh
good.
no, you have no contact. You have no emotion behind your material. It's just words on a paper.
All those guys that got fucked up, and I worked with a lot of them when I first started. If they ever had a second show on a weekend, they were terrible. The first show, they were pretty good because they were just in a groove and they had a nice buzz on. By the second show, you have to wait an hour between the second show starting. By the time they went back on, they were terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
you can't be that fucked up for like 7 hours. You start the first show starts at 8. You're getting off stage at 12:30 or whatever, 5.5 hours. It just doesn't work, and there's too much downtime in between.
And then they get more fucked up.
Go
Probably.
more fucked up, and then they're, maybe doing some coke to get back up, and then drinking a ton and all that. It's just never. And I always saw that going. I go, I'm not going to do it. I'm never going to do that. I mean, I never did coke anyway, but I'm never going to be fucked up because I can see how much it affects the show.
I got into comedy in June of 91, and at St. Patty's Day of 92, I bought some coke, and I go, I'm going to do some coke before I go on stage. I know Richard Pryor did it. I thought he did it and go on stage. And it was such a disaster. And never again. I would do it right from the stage to the bathroom. But I would never go up on stage with it. Never. And it would make... I saw the difference it made when I got high the night before and went on stage the next day. I would go on stage for 4 nights and just bomb. Because I was getting high the night before. And I could feel it. And then when I had a big show, I wouldn't get high for like a day before it. So I would be clean for like 24, 48 hours if I had a serious show. But I always got high after a show. Jesus. And that's why I never got nowhere. It wasn't until I...
Yeah, it really fucks you. It really affects you if you get really fucked up the night before and you got shows the next day. Your sleep's off and everything like that. You're exhausted on stage. You're just not thinking straight.
Which is why I thought for the athletes, like you hear about John Jones talking about he was doing coke all before those DC fights. I guess they're just so, like, they're just machines, I guess.
Well, you have that muscle memory. You know, I heard Lawrence Taylor was snorting coke. It bothered me when people would say, well, the reason why Lawrence Taylor's so good is because he snorts coke. That's bullshit. That's completely bullshit. Because I remember being locked up, and we would do speed on Mondays. And Monday nights, we would all be allowed to go to a grammar school, like a mile away from the fucking prison, and play basketball. And I would be a mess. I would be a fucking mess. And that was speed. I can't imagine doing like coke. My heart would be everywhere. My breathing would be off. My timing would be off. And I was a young kid, and I just felt it then. I'm like, nah, I don't think this works if you get high and do what you're supposed to do. Listen, I'm sure that there's 1,000 comics that have done coke and gone on stage and done great. It just didn't work for me.
Because then you get in the habit of you have to do it all the time. Right. You feel like it's all superstitions. Oh, man, I kill with it, so now I got to do it every night. You're doing 5-6 nights a week, you're going to be fucking dead in 10 years.
Yeah. People
always give me shit like, you don't drink? I go, I do this 5-6 nights a week. I've been doing it for 28, 29 years. I go, I have no liver left if I need to have beers before I go on stage.
Yeah.
Every night, you know what I mean? Like I would never get into that habit of doing that. And then I got to drive. I'm like, fuck that.
That's the
I
thing
take
that
this shit
petrifies
serious.
me the most. I can't keep it together if I drink and drive. I cannot keep it together. I'm not a big drinker, but if I have a half a beer and I get in the car, my heart rate's fucking pumping. Because I have no credibility. Once you have alcohol on your breath and you get pulled over by a cop, you have zero credibility. Even if you just had a little bit of beer with your meal, you have no credibility. You have nowhere to come from. Because once he asks you if you've been drinking, you got to say yes, and you got to take that fucking test. So I'd rather not drink and do 90 and take a chance. You know how many times a cop pulled me over and I was speeding over the speed? Weren't you in a car with me? And I just got pulled over for doing 80 and we didn't get a ticket?
Oxnard, I think.
Yeah, because I'm a gentleman, A, and B, I don't have alcohol on my breath. Right. You could prove your point a lot more when you don't have alcohol and your car don't smell like reefer. And I knew this 30 years ago. Like when I would read that somebody got pulled over and they had a roach in the car and they had 3 kilos of coke, if I was a judge, I'd give them additional time for felony stupid. Like I would have that charge, felony stupid. Like I would have that charge. If I have anything in my car, and if I have more than 2 joints in my car, I don't do over the speed limit. They gave us a right in California. They gave us the right to smoke pot whenever we wanted to. Do you really need to smoke pot in your car?
No.
If you do, you're a fucking idiot.
Right, yeah.
You're a fucking idiot. You know, do you really need to smoke pot in your car? Not really. California gave you a fucking chance to smoke all the pot you want in your fucking house or on your balcony. You don't need to smoke in the car, and you're going to lose your license. You're going to crash, and they're going to trace it to that. You're going to get fucking sued. And the whole,
And if God forbid you kill someone, some guy's walking across the street, and see him, whether even if you were sober and he did it and you're high, forget it. You're going to jail minimum of 10 years.
Yeah, that happened to, like Dante Stallworth a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
he just hit some guy who was walking across the floor. That's like my nightmare. Just doing
No,
by-
it's
doing
if
by
you pay
accident.
fucking attention to life. If you pay attention, you eliminate 20% of the bad shit that could happen. What's pay attention mean? Who gives a fuck who's calling you?
Right.
When you're in a fucking car and I'm driving and somebody calls you, it tells me who's calling me. I don't need to pick it up. I don't need to text when I'm driving. I don't want to text when I'm fucking driving. I don't want to text at all. So that's why I don't pay attention to it. If you pay attention to life, you won't have those problems. Even when I was in my deepest drug comas, I always paid attention. I can't tell you how many times I tell my daughter to pay attention. And she does now. She walks with her head up.
Yeah, know your surroundings.
Know your fucking surroundings. I always ask her, who's in the room? Like the other day, I said to her, look behind you. You know, and see, when you fucking walked up to me, you should have made sure that guy was there. You didn't because you didn't look. You got to look around. You got to keep your eyes open at all times. When I see stupid shit on the news, it breaks my heart, especially as a parent at the park. When I go to the park, I see parents fucking turn their backs and shit. You don't ever turn your back on your kid. Your eyes are always on your kid. If somebody talks to you and they're over here and it forces you, I stop the conversation. I stop the fucking conversation. I want to watch what the fuck is going on at all times. At all fucking times. What the fuck are you giggling about? Nobody...
Why did you like him? What did
He did an error.
I knew a second ago, but now it's... keep going from where you told it, because then
You know that little forehead you got?